A thing that Elon tweeted, I think today or yesterday, in response to one of these things at Disney.
There's no way we're hiring a white male, Mitchell.
Where one of the guys at Disney openly said, I would never hire a straight white man.
The friction is evident when Disney severs its relationship with rising talent Rachel Zegler and Joe Rogan intervenes with candid criticism. Therefore, the goal of Disney's live-action Snow White remake was to revive a timeless classic. Rather, it has become one of the greatest PR catastrophes the business has seen in recent years. The studio's choice to update the well-loved 1937 tale has many wondering about Disney's artistic vision. Instead of creating enthusiasm, the teaser trailer accomplished the exact opposite. It was one of the most derided Disney teasers ever, with over 700 zero likes and over 850,000 dislikes. Not only were fans unhappy, they were furious. Many believed that by substituting lifeless computer pictures for the original's compelling story, the business had lost what made it so compelling.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Rachel Zegler, who was selected to portray Snow White, is the main culprit. At first, Rachel was seen as a potential contender, but following criticism of the romance narrative and general tone of the first film, she lost the support of her followers. Instead of honoring the classic's past, she called the prince's stance unsettling and said it was out of date. Those who grew up loving the original were incensed by these comments. Let's look at the catastrophe that brought us to this point before we get into Joe Rogan's brutal takedown.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can.
Particularly see people who, look like me or are me playing roles like that. So it was definitely, when it announced, it was a huge thing that was trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were
scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up. I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every app that it is streamed online. What made you want to step into this world? DC heroes. I needed.
Disney's version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was intended to update the narrative for a contemporary audience, but their strategy has angered many. To avoid perpetuating antiquated preconceptions, one of the most contentious adjustments was the substitution of computer-generated imagery, CGI, magical creatures, for the well-loved Seven Dwarfs. Despite its progressive goals, this action was seen as shallow, particularly by members of the dwarfism community who felt left out of chances. The trailer's release fueled an already burning fire, but the criticism began even before the teaser was released. The teaser video sparked controversy after receiving over 850,000 unfavorable views on YouTube. The dull computer visuals, poor sheet design, and general lack of realism were also points of contention for fans. The trailer seemed like a phony, corporate-driven effort to follow trends rather than recreating the beauty of the original. Disney was criticized by viewers for abandoning its storytelling heritage in favor of ostentatious stunts and contentious themes. The choice of Rachel Zegler to portray Snow White fueled the issue. And at first, there was hope for her since supporters thought she would provide a new viewpoint on the position. However, this optimism was swiftly dashed when Zegler publicly criticized the original 1937 picture. She rejected the love premise of the conventional story as disturbing and out of date. Many believed that these comments were insulting to the films and its creators' past. Her remarks were seen by fans as demeaning to the generations who looked up to Snow White as a brave and caring figure. The consequences of Rachel's comments were severe. Fans criticized her on social media, claiming she didn't comprehend the burden of portraying such a well-known persona. The fact that she didn't seem to be as kind and humble as the original Snow White in the teaser didn't help either. Rachel's manner came out as arrogant and self-righteous, which was a sharp contrast to the charming and compassionate princess that everyone loved. Then Joe Rogan appeared and immediately criticized Rachel Zegler's actions and Disney's decisions.
somehow or another decided that an individual can be like, it's almost like a cure to the reality of whatever he's exposing. Like you could say, oh, it doesn't matter because it's James O'Keefe. And then you can put that on top of the thing and it all goes.
According to Rogan, being selected to portray such a well-liked role should be seen as a joy rather than a chance to disparage the resources that made the job possible. He noted that the audience she was trying to reach was put off by her comments. Zegler continued. Then Rogan. He also attacked Disney, accusing the corporation of sacrificing its narrative heritage in order to conform to contemporary fashions. He maintained that the studio's fixation on adapting Disney classics to contemporary social concerns had undermined their eternal appeal. Fans who believe the studio has strayed from its origins in favor of phony virtue signaling found resonance in Rogan's criticism. Joe Rogan discussed a major problem in Hollywood on his show, the gap between fans and creatives. According to him, the business often puts resolving internet disputes ahead of producing gripping and memorable tales. Rogan claims that Disney's recent errors with Snow White are a perfect illustration of this tendency, in which the essence of the original story is obscured by surface-level modifications. Joe Rogan's direct perspective has been well received by fans, who praised him for expressing what many others were considering. His comments mirrored the audience's growing dissatisfaction, which believes Disney has deviated too far from its core values to be a cultural force. Disney's latest actions have caused dissatisfaction and divisiveness, rather than producing tales that bring people together across generations.
I don't want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me.
Disney's move to exclude Rachel Zegler from upcoming films is shocking Hollywood, if you thought the criticism couldn't get much worse. Disney's decision to cut ties with Rachel Zegler as the Snow White scandal escalated was seen as a significant effort to salvage the company's deteriorating reputation. The decision was not decided quickly, according to industry sources, and was heavily influenced by Zegler's divisive public image and fan outcry. According to critics, if the studio wanted to keep Rachel, it would have to make a bold casting decision by putting itself in this risky position. Disney justified the choice as damage management, albeit the precise reasons are still debatable. Were internal politics and mounting doubts about Zegler's ability to market the movie the driving forces behind this, or was it a reaction to the general outcry? According to some, the firm was not ready for the kind of outrage that Rachel's remarks provoked, particularly from ardent Disney fans who believed the actress had denigrated the heritage of the original Snow White. She alluded hazily to her sentiments of betrayal and sadness on social media. She said in one tweet that she was misinterpreted and that she was being held accountable for choices that were beyond of her control. Some of her supporters supported her, claiming that she had been unjustly singled out, while others chastised her for what they saw to be her lack of responsibility. You can't play the victim after ruining a fantastic narrative. The viewpoint of several admirers who believe Zegler's contemptuous comments had damaged relationships was echoed by one commentator. There were differing opinions among fans on Disney's choice. While some thought it was too little, too late, others applauded the corporation for finally addressing fan issues. According to a supporter, this isn't just about Rachel, it's about Disney losing sight of what made them great in the first place. A significant section of the audience believed that the whole episode was a reflection of problems with Disney's administration. However, the future of Disney and Hollywood in general is at stake here, not just one actress or one film.
Disney princesses is not feminist. Not every woman is a leader. Not every woman wants to be a leader. Not every woman wants or craves power, and that's okay. It is not anti-feminist to want to fall in love, to want to get married, to want to stay at home, to be soft, to want to be a homemaker. None of these things make you less valuable as a person or a woman. The criticism of Disney princesses is always based on one of two things: criticizing women for things that men get to do unquestioned, or writing off a woman entirely because she is or wants to fall in love.
Fans have long complained about the studio's seeming indifference to its own history. Disney's efforts to update its classics, from Lightyear to the Little Mermaid remake, have often generated controversy. The business has come under fire for allegedly putting political goals ahead of interesting content. They seem to have lost sight of their target market. These tales were passed down to us as children not because they were popular, but rather because they were ageless. On Reddit, an irate fan left a remark. Disney is presently in a risky position as a result of this loss of confidence. The studios have received almost universal praise for their productions, which have attracted audiences of all ages. However, recent blunders that have alienated many of its main supporters have made a feeling of estrangement unavoidable. Joe Rogan's criticism, which portrays Disney as disconnected from its audience and the larger cultural environment, has capitalized on this discontent. His remarks also highlight a larger problem in Hollywood, the conflict between authenticity and liberalism. Reimagining tales to represent contemporary ideals has some merit, but many companies, including Disney, have fallen short, according to critics. The corporation often chooses cosmetic alterations over creating tales that appear new and true to their original content because of a lack of strong franchises and increased awareness of elitism. According to one admirer, businesses don't give a damn about how they look. Joe Rogan's criticism reflects this mounting annoyance. In addition to Rachel's remarks, Hollywood has been plagued with tone-deaf decision-making and an entitled mindset in recent years. The Snow White scandal serves as a wake-up call for Disney. It serves as a reminder that people want more than gaudy makeovers and trendy language. They look for tales that preserve the soul and allure of the originals. It remains to be seen whether the studio can win back the confidence of its fans. However, there is little doubt that the journey ahead will need more than damage control. It will need a return to the originality and authenticity that made the Disney brand what it is. Will the business intensify its existing strategy or take a step back and alter its course? The response might have an impact on the future of the entertainment sector overall, in addition to Disney. Supporters are already voicing their thoughts on the present state of affairs. Zegler sank the ship before it even sailed, someone made the comment. "We don't want you in our films, Rachel Zegler," said another commenter. "Remain in your echo chambers and bubbles." What are your thoughts? Is this the new normal for Disney, or can it return to its roots? Let's discuss this catastrophe. Please leave your opinions below. For more Hollywood updates, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.